Today's adventure takes us to Frankfort, Illinois, and to Rose Hill Cemetery. Now, this little rural cemetery here in Frankfort is just a beautiful cemetery, still active, about 200 graves. This cemetery started around 1870. There's some amazing old tombstones here, amazing new tombstones here. Now, one of the things I will tell you that on Find a Grave, it looks like most of the cemetery is German, which makes sense. We're in Frankfort, Illinois, Frankfurt, Germany. There is a correlation there. A lot of the pioneers that settled in this area were German. So come with me as we explore this wonderful old cemetery. Okay guys, as we enter the cemetery, we see the Rose Hill sign that somebody had created. Nice sign. Cemetery is not too big. Primarily German. Being Frankfort, Illinois, I guess you would expect that. Let's see what we have here. Read that. The first one we come up to is very difficult to read. I don't think we're going to be able to read this one. Do 18 something there. It looks like there was something on the top of this at one time, a finial of some sort. No longer, however. Next to it we have unfortunately, a stack of tombstones. Looks like a base there and a tombstone, and then there's one fallen over. I don't think we can read that one. No. It looks like the weeping willow tree. A lot of interesting tombstones in this cemetery. This one, finial's still intact. Can't quite read this name. It's in script. Appears to be German. Man, it's really worn. Really, really worn. Nice tombstone, however. Here we have Bettenhausen. Now, some may remember the Bettenhausen name. It's actually very popular in Tinley Park, not too far from here. Tony Bettenhausen, who used to be an IndyCar driver, he was very popular. So the Bettenhausen name is very prominent in this area. I didn't realize it came all the way out to Frankfort. I love this one. It's a beautiful monument. Again, you can see where the finial used to be on top. That's missing. Wilson is the name down there at the bottom. Wilhelm and a little hard to see that one. See something Vaughn. See 1888, both 1888. Died. It's in German. 1888. September 1888. So one died in October of 1888, and one died in September of 1888. But what a beautiful tombstone. Very nice. Next to it, we have this one here. We see the lamb representing a child. Another one that's unfortunately unreadable. And we see, unfortunately, this one is also in the ground, not readable. Here's an interesting one right here. just a block on one corner. There's nothing else on it, or at least nothing we can read. Can't read that one either. A lot of old ones in the cemetery. Here's a very interesting one here. It's interesting because you can see what appears to be a mother holding the hands of two children, one on each side. But the markings are long gone, unreadable. But that's interesting. I wonder if the children are buried here, or if it's the mother, or who that might be. But yeah, that tombstone, hopefully somebody in the past has the information off of this and has it in record, because that tombstone's just completely unreadable at this point. And this is interesting too. I don't know what this is. This tree growing next to it, please leave a comment if you know what this is. I'm not sure what that is. But interesting. Huh. And here we have an obelisk, draped obelisk. We could see the wreath wrapped around the top, and you can just see how old this is. Look at that. Look at that wear. I mean, it's just, all the detail is gone. The inscription is gone. It's just it's sad that that happens. You know, people put a lot of work into that, especially in that time. That was all hand done, and you can't see it anymore. And here's one. Looks like a infant or baby. There appears to be something there. It almost looks like a scripted G and an S. Maybe. Well, there's one here I think we might actually be able to read. We got the finger pointing up, and I say that now. Catherine looks like the name. Yeah, this one isn't as clear as I thought it was. But I think that's Catherine. Catherine. We do see the finger pointing upwards. Another child's grave. You wonder what this looked like new. Because obviously this is really bad condition. And we see it's either an angel or a child there. And then of course we have the inscription that is unreadable. Actually I see what looks like August 1850 something. That's what it looks like to me anyways. I could be wrong. That's something. And right behind it, only the base remains of this one, Brandau. I see Brandau. Wow. Got another one here that unfortunately is not readable. Can't really determine anything off of that one either. It's a shame that these are so worn, but we are in an area that's rather open. And there's another one. Looks like a dove in flight. That's about all you can make out of that one, unfortunately. So this cemetery is still an active cemetery. So some of these obviously can still read. It's a nice one here. Pierce. So we have some that are more than 150 years old mixed in with some that are rather new. This Mark one is really quite remarkable hair. I didn't wake up alive this morning is what it says there. Mother Betty, and you see their photos on here. Do it. It's later than you think. That's pretty neat. Unfortunately, daughter Peggy, right there, died pretty young. Doesn't even look like she made it into her 20s. Let's see what we have on the other side of this tombstone. I just think this tombstone's rather neat. I usually don't look at the newer ones, but oh, here's Peggy Lee. Peggy Lee Mark, placed here by her friends. Very nice. Oh, and there's some inscription here at the back. Mark. Walter W.O. Mark was busy in life. Look at this. A little history of his. World War II Army veteran. Former president, Frankfurt Lions Club. Former president, Frankfurt Fire Department. Chicago Heights Moose, Frankfurt School Board, American Legion Post. I mean, that's former president of the American Legion Post 109. Remarkable. I like that. It's nice that they post that. So this isn't too old of a stone, but I do like the Celtic cross and the IAH representing, of course, Jesus. I believe that's Jesus in Greek or something that has to do with Greek. That's a neat one. Veteran of foreign wars right there. So he was a veteran. Doesn't say what branch of service, however. Let's just take a walk down this row here. Because again, we have some new mixed in with old. Here's an old one. Sainmeister looks to be the name. Grorg? Is that a G-R-O-R-G? Is that what you guys are seeing too? That's what it looks like. Sainmeister. See, Adam Sainmeister, 1878 to 1904. Not very old. I'll take a look at this one here. You can see the base with the crosshatch pattern. Very common on the older tombstones. Again, like many of the old ones in this cemetery, this one rather unreadable. There's a small one here. I don't know if this is old or modern, but unfortunately covered up by plants. But let's see what we can see here. Eleanor is the name. I can't shine the flashlight on their film and hold the camera at the same time, so I can't read the rest of those details there. Beautiful cemetery though, in the middle of the country. Have another one here with the lamb on the top. Very distinctive tombstones. You always know the lamb signifies an infant or young child that has passed. Can't read that one either. This is interesting here. We have two of the same type of stone. Here, I wonder if this was a footstone and one was a headstone and there was some curbing in between. Because you could see below it, I bet this notch right here fit into here. So there was definitely what I believe to be some curbing in there. And then here's another nice old stone, finial sinking into the ground. You know, finials on a lot of these old stones have fallen off. I see that a lot, very common. Let's see if we can see what this is. I believe that's Wilhelm, son of Conrad. And yeah, very, very difficult. Very difficult. Near impossible to read at this point, but that's a Bentenhausen. What else do we have in here, folks? Unfortunately, this newer one, the son that died, Brando, 1976 to 2001, so he was pretty young. Then we have an old one right next to it with a American flag. Veteran of foreign wars. Let's see if we can see a name. Should be able to see a name on this one. This one's marble. So marble doesn't wear as quickly as that limestone does. George Brando, born 1836, died 1913 it looks like. I see something 100. I don't know what that is. That one's hard to read. Assuming that's maybe his wife. 1833 to 1893. Very nice. We have the Ross family here, and you know, I thought for sure, since this cemetery, according to Find a Grave, started in 1870, I'm like, we're probably not going to see a Civil War soldier in here. I was mistaken. We do have one here. Jacob J, 1838 to 1930. So he lived into his 90s. And Company G, 57, Illinois Regiment, Volunteer Infantry. So thank you for your service. Jacob was in the military, and it looks like this must be, I don't know if it be his son Henry. 1884, 1961. It appears Henry was also in the military. So yeah, just like most cemeteries, definitely not a lack of soldiers, that's for sure. And then if we go down here, we see that one's 1811, 1896, and what does this say on it? Grandfather, Singmeister, 1814 to 1893. What a nice old cemetery this was. Great old tombstones. Unfortunately, a lot of the old tombstones were unreadable. But that's what you get in these old cemeteries. You know, it's open to the elements. These tombstones have been there for over 150 years. They're usually limestone or sandstone, and the inscriptions just wear off over time. But a great old German cemetery. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you like my content, feel free to subscribe. And as always, until next time, keep exploring.